And we're live. Hey, I'm Sean. This is Federal Prison Talk. Hello, YouTube. Hello, Twitter. Hello, Facebook. I got Angie S. From. I saw you change the name of your channel from Tea Talk with Stubbs, but it's a women's prison channel, guys. And I'm trying to help Angie out, promote her channel. So I got the link down there, but go to Tea Talk with Stubbs. It's a women's prison channel, and she's got lots of guests and interviews she's been doing. And I'm proud to have Angie, who I knew before she went to prison. Now she's out, and she's going forward with her life. Angie, say hello.
Hey, everybody. Thanks for inviting me to be on your show today, Sean.
You're welcome.
It's good to be home, that's for sure. It's been a month for me. I've been out a little over a month.
Yes, out a month. Oh, Adam Talks Prison from Australia. He says, hi, Angie. And Adam, I just asked her about, I just emailed her your info, and she's all good. You go on her show, he goes on, you go on hers, all that stuff. I'm all for helping out my YouTube family of prison channels. Anything that's a positive prison channel. I don't want to teach you how to make a shank or a tattoo gun or how to make a pruno or how to where to hide your cell phone. I'm not going into that, guys. But I do know a good place to hide your cell phone. But no. Another show.
I want to know. We didn't have access to that because I was in RDAP.
So the safest place, they say, is you get a plastic bag and you bury it on the track somewhere, and off to the side in the dirt. You bury it under the dirt. And I don't know. Who knows? I never used a cell phone, but I had cellies that would have cell phones. And as soon as I had one like that, I'd always request to move because I'm sitting there and there's two guys on a bed in front of me all talking on cell phones. If the SEALs walk by, man, I'm guilty by conspiracy.
Yeah.
I'm guilty for association, and I'm going to the shoe. So, man, anybody that I probably had 8 different cellies. I moved 8 different times. And, half of it was because they had cell phones. I don't want no part of that, man. I'm going home, man.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good way to get you more time,
Yeah.
I learned some really interesting things that I never would have known had I not gone to prison. Like some of my friends were explaining to me how they actually get drugs in through legal paperwork.
Oh, so let's tell them.
Okay, so here I was in RDAP, and there was people that it was pretty obvious that they were methed out while they were in there, and I was like, because I'm so naive, my friends would always laugh, Angie, you're so naive, and hey, Harvey. And so what they explained to me was, hey, don't you realize that so-and-so and so-and-so are getting called to the counselor's office to pick up their legal mail all the time? And I'm like, oh, I guess so, and they go, yeah, that's what happens. So I go, well, so give it to me straight. And they said, well, what they do is they'll spray it with liquid meth or whatever, right? Oh. And then what they do is they'll let the person know that the information that they're looking for in that legal packet is on page 8, 9, 59, 57. You know what I mean? And then that tells the person in this 100 pages, these are the pages that have meth on them.
Wow.
And what they do is they have, yeah. And what they do is they have friends that either get a stamp that says that it's legal mail or that work at a legal office and just use that stamp. So that the prison doesn't open their mail. I was like, wow.
TJ says, don't tell the tricks of the trade.
Right? I know I should keep my mouth shut. But I was fascinated. I said, my God, there's always a way. Where there's a will, there's a way.
Yeah. We had some meth in my prison. I remember this one guy, man. He sat there and he went to the Summit building. They went on a mission to go find some meth in prison. And he had a bag of, carnitas and tunas and meats. He had about $100 worth of meats. That's our money in prison. And he said, I'm going to find some meth. I know they have it in the other building. So him and this other guy took off on a journey. And I swear, like 2 hours later, it's like we're going to go to, Oakland downtown, and we're gonna find some drugs and come back. But sure enough, he came back. This guy did a big long line. He bought like $50 worth of meth, which is probably $10 on the street. Anyways, he did it all in one lump sum, and then he's dancing in the aisle. I love prison. This place is great. This guy went crazy, man, for hours, man. And I was like almost envious, you know, but he let the whole range. No, I'm high on meth. Fuck, I mean, but it was. It's just.
I've never done it in my life, but I've seen the repercussions. I saw people high in prison. They were kicking the air and wouldn't shut up and making funny faces. And, you know, that
this
meth
guy
thing.
had the cleanest cell for the next 2 days. I'm telling you. 3 a.m, he's got his toothbrush. He's scrubbing everything clean.
Dang, that's crazy. And what was crazy is that everybody in the, like, I was RDAP in the federal women's in Dublin. RDAP is in Unit D. Well, everybody in C that's not RDAP, they knew where the drugs were. They knew it was in RDAP. I'm like, that's so embarrassing.
Oh, yeah. RDAP had a lot of that. You should have seen Christmas Eve, man, and New Year's Eve, man. RDAP had the alcohol going on, man. I remember that. It was, and then you know what? It was cheap. $8 for a shot of Patron. Now here, I'll show you. It came in this one of these farming, you know, refill bottles, and they filled it to about here. $8 for a shot of Patron. And I remember going, I can't even get that at a bar for $8. It's $10 at the bars I know. Patron. I'm going, wow. Yeah, New Year's Eve was.
How did they get Patron in there?
Huh?
How did they get Patron in there?
I was at a prison camp, so we don't have a fence. We have a sign that says out of bounds.
Oh,
and about 3 a.m, people go out of bounds and they grab bags of cell phones, Patron, cigarettes. I mean, everything. And I'm not telling any secrets, guys. The guards know this too. They're just too lazy to be out there at 3 a.m. to catch you. But at a camp, yeah, we get spoiled. So the deal was, they pay you $500 if you're willing to run out to the road and grab a bag and bring it back in the middle of the night. That person who does that gets $500. And the it's a big duffel bag, and it's filled with everything you could think of. To buy a bottle of Patron was $120 for that big bottle, and like the half gallons of cheap gin, vodka, whatever, they were $150 for a half gallon. That was the price. And I'm not giving secrets away, guys. All the guards know this. Everybody knows about federal.
The guards are dirty. The guards are dirty anyway.
Yeah. See, we don't need guards in a prison camp. We don't need you. You have no value to it. We just go to the road. We don't need you. Now, where Harvey did time, they need the guards. You know what I mean? Because they have fences. So if you're going to a federal prison camp, be careful, guys. You get caught drinking, you get caught with a cell phone, a joint, whatever it is, man, you're going to lose all your good time. You're going to go to the hole. You're going to investigate you, and you're never going to be in a camp again. You're always going to be behind the fence for the rest of your time, and they can add an extra couple of years to your charge as well. So, and TJ, thank you for the $5 super sticker. Thank you, TJ. TJ just got sentenced, and he was worried. So he got home confinement and probation and all that. He was on an airplane.
That's the airplane. Yeah,
I don't know.
I am so happy he's not going to do time inside.
Yeah, so I think he got 5 years probation and 6 months home confinement. Now you know you can mess that up, TJ. You gotta do the right thing and go forward. But at least you didn't have to do no time. But he got into it with a flight attendant. And see, even the littlest thing that sets us off, and you argue in your anger. I was talking to Adam about anger management and how we can go off with people, because TJ's been in prison before, and sometimes we lose our cool, especially when we get out and we've been free a while and we forget. They can send us back like that. I don't care if you're off probation; you got a rap sheet, you know.
Yeah, totally.
So anyways, Angie, what's going on with you? How's your channel doing? Tell the world, promote your channel, all that stuff.
Well, hey, I have some really good interviews coming up. I have a lady that I'm going to be interviewing. I don't have a date yet, but I'm going to interview her hopefully within a week. And she had a life sentence, and she got out. She got clemency.
Clemency.
So I don't know anything.
What, I forget what that means. I should know, but what does that mean, clemency?
Well, she got let out. So she's out now. So she had a life sentence, and she's now out on the street. So she got let out, and I think it means that her sentence was like commuted.
Nice. And she's coming on.
And I can't wait to hear her story. Yeah. And then I have Deborah coming on Thursday. We scheduled that. So I'm really
you guys, Deborah Orler. I don't think she minds if I say her last name, but you guys got to watch Angie's channel with Deborah. I did her. She was on my show about a year ago. This lady has been to prison, I don't know, 3 or 4 times, but totally turned her life around. She donates every Sunday. She's out in the Tenderloin handing out backpacks, blankets, sleeping bags to homeless people. She did, the news media got a hold of her. She did. I could even send you the news media clip. I think I have it somewhere, Angie. So she was.
I'd like to see it.
She was on Channel 7 News for, a lady that's giving back to the society. Somebody donated $15,000 to Deborah. Guess what she did with that money? She spent it all on sleeping bags and clothes and tents, and went out and handed it all back to the homeless.
That's amazing.
Every penny of the. She didn't even keep $100.
That's amazing.
Yeah, and this lady's been in and out of prison all her life, and she had a heart transplant and almost died. I'm sure you got to watch the show. When watch Angie's channel, guys. Deborah's got a heartbreaking story, and here's a woman who probably would be back in prison had she not took all the right measures, like we like to say, Angie, because we don't want any of you people to go back to prison. We don't want any of you who are watching for the first time. I don't want you to ever go to prison.
No, if you haven't been there, make sure you don't, because God, I mean, one slip up could be it, especially when you're dealing with the feds. Like one slip up, they have no mercy. Like you'll do time with the quickness. And it's just, it's not worth it. I wish I would have known then what I know now.
I hear you. And I wanted to get maybe talking to Angie how we're talking about teachers and stuff like that, but everybody that's anybody that's had, I want to talk about people with DUIs and people who've never been caught. But first I want to say Adam talks prison. Yeah, Harvey, he says, Harvey, I'm going on Sean's channel tomorrow morning, 9 a.m. That's 5 p.m. Mountain Time, 4 p.m. Pacific Time, 7 p.m. Eastern Time. So Adam from Australia, and we titled it, the title of the show is going to be, I wrote it down here, Growing Up in Australia, The Real Truth. And Adam's
cool.
He's going to reveal all. Because Adam lived the criminal life growing up, and we're going to really talk about Australia and what's really going on. So if you're curious, that's tomorrow night, 5 o'clock Mountain Time. Sorry, Angie.
No, good. I want to watch it too. Okay. I can't wait to hear his story.
And and you're going to come on Adam's channel, right?
Yep, I sure am.
And so that's going to make you visible to people in Australia. How you feel about that?
Oh, that would be really cool.
I like them apples.
I like them apples. I want to get some global exposure. It's a fascinating topic. It's a real topic. It's something that we know intimately, obviously, and people need to know what it's really about.
Yeah. Oh, here's a guy I did time with, TR. Tom, how you doing there, Tom? Great show. Tom was my really good friend at the federal prison. And Tom, you helped me out so many times that I was down and out. My father died while I was in prison. There was one time a guy threatened my life. And Tom was always there. He had my back. And guess what? Me and Tom get to hang out together today. And Tom's the reason I moved to Albuquerque and I have this job. But Tom's a great man. And Tom, God bless you. See, you meet people in prison, and then you get to. I have the blessing of seeing these guys. We're all out of prison, and we help each other. We're a support group. Do you have a support group of women, Angie, that you did time with that are helping you today?
Yeah. Actually, before I went in, I was the only felon that in my group, me and my co-defendant, but everybody else that I know and associate with all has college degrees and all works, for corporate America and never been in trouble, walks a pretty straight line. And so I was really worried about my reputation, of course. And I was surrounded by people who are non-felons. Before I went in, like, surprisingly, I've got so much love and so much support. And then when I went in, I didn't think I would come out with friends, that's for sure. And I have come out with some people that are so solid, and I hope that we're friends forever. I do. We support each other wholeheartedly. We talk on a regular basis. We support each other when somebody's feeling down. You go to prison, you meet some amazing people. I mean, I never would have thought.
Yeah, let's talk about that, because the last thing I wanted when I knew I was going to prison, I don't want to make any friends. The last thing I want is make a friend. Those guys in prison, don't you know who I think I am? You know what I mean?
Right? Yeah.
Yeah, and I get there and they're just like me, and yeah, and I made some beautiful friendships in prison, and I have the honor today to call my friends, and we're all out and we help each other. Yeah, so you guys would be amazed. Not everybody's a bad person in prison. Now, there was people I did time with, and they should never get out. These are some creepy, low-life people I did time with, and I would never associate with them now. But there's a whole lot of other good guys that came out of there, Did you have some creepy people that you saw while you were in prison?
Yeah, I met a few. There weren't any creepy people in the unit that I was in, right. But there was some creepy people in the units around me, and we were associated with one other unit that were kind of connected, and we did, because everything was on COVID stuff. It wasn't an open compound like it normally is. So C and D did a lot of things together, and there were some people in C I wouldn't have anything to do with. That's for sure. Absolutely.
Let me just catch up on some comments here. Adam says, hi, Kathy, and Kathy D from Australia. Hey, Kathy, Adam from Australia. He's going to be 9 a.m. your time, Kathy, tomorrow morning. Me and Adam are doing another show. Growing up in Australia, the real truth. So, Kathy, if you can catch the show tomorrow. And Adam, he says, I would love to have you on my channel. Angie, we sort out our day and time. And Adam, I already sent Angie your email and stuff. And,
I would love to be on your channel. We'll hook that up for sure.
There you go. There you go. And Adam Talks Prison says, hi, Kathy. And let me just catch up here. Adam says, morning, Kathy. So guess what? It is I think it's 10 a.m. now in Australia on Sunday. And I told Adam, we were just talking. I go, well, give me the lottery numbers before they pull them over here. That's a trip. It's like it's a day he's in the future. I can't just comprehend that.
My son lived in Japan for 6 years, and it's the same thing. It's like a 17-hour time difference, which I believe you are too, right, Adam? We're 17 hours. You're 17 hours ahead of us. Is that true?
He's like in the future, a whole day ahead in the future. I mean,
isn't it cool?
Am I going to live through it today, Adam? Do I die tonight? Tell me. Kathy says, my pleasure. Adam Talks Prison. Angie, when I first went to prison at 18, I came out way worse.
Wow.
Yeah, let's talk about that, Angie. Let's talk about that.
Well, this is what I can say about that is you learn some shit when you're in there. And like I mentioned on when I was on Harvey's show and I was on with you, actually it was your show and it was the three of us. And I was telling you about how I was like, hey, if I would have known then what I know now, instead of doing the crime that I did, I'd have done some human trafficking.
Really?
I would have helped.
You would have.
Well, if I was choosing to commit a crime, which I clearly was. And yeah, I would have, because they don't get that much time. I mean, not like prostitution rings. I just mean, bringing people across the border and dropping them off in other states and stuff like that.
Yeah, but
those people don't do that much time, and they don't have restitution.
That's what all the Pisces told me in prison. It's better to just bring people across than drugs. You don't get much time, but
Yes.
But you got to think about those people's lives. What's going to happen to them after you bring them over, especially anybody that's under 18. If it's a family with kids or girls and boys, I mean, do you think about what happens to them once you drop them off in El Paso, Texas, or wherever you take them?
Well, see, that's how naive I am, Sean. My way of thinking was they're going to stay with family, so we're bringing them over for a better life.
And that's probably what the coyotes tell you. That's probably what the coyotes tell you, so you can justify in your head and keep doing it. But the real truth, I mean, my audience out there, tell Angie what really happens when these guys get over the border. Even some.
I wouldn't be involved in hurting anybody, or turning people out and all that kind of stuff. So
no, I know I understand that's not what you were thinking, but it happens. So and even the women, a 30-year-old woman, a 40-year-old woman, even you got to play it through. There's always consequences. Human trafficking is. I just did a show with a lady. Her name was Angie. Anyway, I did a show. She's got an organization out here in New Mexico to stop human trafficking. I did a show a few months back with her, and it's a real problem, especially in our border states like Arizona, New Mexico, and Texas. And even the women and some of the men, I mean, they don't just come over here and go pick grapes and live happily ever after. They really go through some hell. These are the
that's bad news.
These are the ones, they're not being held in the detention center and then being sent to America. No, these are the ones that they bypass all that. And guess who's waiting for them in El Paso when they get there? Pimps, drug dealers, the worst kind of people.
Oh, that's terrible. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't mean
I wouldn't have an association with that. But that just goes to show how I can see how somebody could be easily manipulated into doing something like that, thinking you're helping somebody. And in reality, you could be ruining their life and your own.
Yeah. But they don't like you said, the charges are a lot less for bringing a person across the border as opposed to, 10 kilos of cocaine. Adam says, thanks, Angie. Adam says, it's Sunday, 10:50 a.m. here right now. Yes, we are 16 hours ahead. And he says, LOL. Let me ask you, does LOL mean lots of laughs or does it mean laughs out loud?
Laugh out loud.
Okay, I always thought it was lots of laughs. But I mean, so it's like, ho, 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 ho. I'm laughing out loud.
You're laughing hard, like you're not chuckling. It's a good laugh.
Okay.
It's a belly laugh.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I mean, I'm an old guy, guys. I do know how to.
No, you're not. But I learned a lot of that stuff because in my field, in my usual career field, I work with a lot of people that are significantly younger than me, so I get to keep up on all that stuff.
I think Adam's got a serious question here, Angie. It says, like you asked me before, Sean, why did it take so long to wake up to myself? Before I spent the last 17 and a half years of my life in and out of prison. I got clean from heroin and got myself out of the life. Yeah, why? That's the mystery. I mean, Adam, I started doing drugs in high school, and then I finally didn't get off the drugs till my 50s. I mean, I had some years in between but yeah, Adam, I don't know. I don't have that answer. Why? What do you think, Angie?
Well, I never did any drugs other than I smoke. I can't smoke weed now, but I smoked a lot of weed, but I never did excessive alcohol or any other drugs. And but I have a lot of friends now that I've been to prison. I mean, everybody except me did meth and some of them did heroin, and some of them shot it up meth and everything. So obviously when you're on drugs, you're in the life. You're just, that's what it is.
Yeah,
so when you
go on.
I was just gonna say, so when you get clean and then you surround yourself with people who are clean, you know, you're going to be less apt to be around people who are committing crimes, right? Because mostly drug use and committing crimes goes hand in hand. And even if you have money and you can afford the drugs, you're still doing things that are illegal, right? Like you're still in a certain mind frame.
Yeah, and you lived over there in San Leandro, and I actually lived on 164th in International in San Leandro for a year or something. But San Leandro is, and it's full of meth. Castro Valley, Hayward, all that little triangle place, and those cops are nothing nice in Hayward, right, Angie?
Right. You know, it's interesting. I lived on 163rd and
Really?
580. Yeah, like right off that exit.
Oh yeah, that I wasn't on International. I was up on the 580.
Yeah.
Called but I can't remember the street. There was a 7-Eleven on 164th.
I was just going to say the 7-Eleven. Yeah. I bet we lived like we were neighbors and we didn't even know it.
Small world.
Yeah.
Yeah, and there was a bar called the Castro Valley Inn. If you go from that 580 down to Castro Valley, and I did karaoke shows there. Like I was the guy with the karaoke equipment, you know. And
oh, that's so cool.
Yeah, it was called the Castro Valley Inn. Have you heard of that?
No.
It's right there on Castro Valley Boulevard. But I'm going to tell you, every night I pack up my equipment at 2:00. I ended the show at 3:15 a.m. I'm driving drunk every night home with all of my equipment. Now the cops have already got their people for the DUIs. They've already caught them. They're booking them downtown, so I'm not getting caught. And I did that for about 2 years. And I did karaoke shows in some other towns. And I must have driven drunk at least 1,000 times and never, ever got caught. Never got a DUI. How much time do you think they would send me to prison for if they charged me for 1,000 DUIs?
Oh, I don't think they'd let you out.
Yeah.
I can't even imagine because they're given time out a lot for, I mean, DUIs are very serious, you know. They've always been serious, but the time now and the way the law handles it, the Justice Department is not easy on DUIs anymore. So who can imagine, you know, I can't tell you how many times I smoked pot or went out and had a couple drinks and drove. I mean, I wouldn't do it today. But I can tell you I've done it, maybe not 1,000 times, but I've probably done it 250 times in my lifetime.
How many people get off work at 5:00 or 4:00? They go to the little brew pub or whatever, and they have a few beers, and they drive home, and they do their dinner, and they greet their kids, and they think they're, they think they're a good member of society, but they're driving home on 3 or 4 beers, and they do this on Mondays and Thursdays and Fridays, and it's no big deal. But they stop, they have their beers, they drive home. They're drunk. They're past the legal limit. And they've been doing this for years, and they never got caught. And then they have the nerve to judge me.
Yep. I mean, so many people have committed felonies, and they're in denial because they've never been caught. And they are super quick to judge everybody else who's gotten caught. And honestly, the only difference between them and us is they didn't get caught and we have. You know, sure, we didn't get caught for DUIs and stuff. We got caught for something else. But how many people have lied on their taxes? Oh, I'm just going to lie to this little thing. But that's illegal. Those are federal offenses.
Yeah. I think there's a question for you, Angie. Nick Franco, did you see many give up and just destroy their lives in prison out of purely just having given up?
Given up once they're in prison?
I think that's what he means.
No, everybody that I was in with had a light at the end of the tunnel. They hadn't given up and they were excited about changing their life around. I feel like a lot of them had given up before they went into prison and were just like, F it, you know?
Yeah.
And then they get in there and sober up and they realize that there's a light at the end of the tunnel and that they can get their shit together. It's
yeah. Adam, I'm going to get back to you, but let me do Nick's follow-up because he mentioned San Leandro. I got busted in San Leandro. You always think you want to get caught until you're caught. We got somebody in the room, in the house. All right.
Yeah, San Leandro. Woohoo, yeah. It's true. Honestly, I did not think that I was going to get caught. You know, my crime was fraud. And I did it like 7 times in 3 years. And I did not think I was going to get caught. And I stopped on my own a year before I was ever caught. And then, you know, so I was like, okay, I'm done. I'm not doing this ever again. And I never did. And it didn't matter. It was too late. A year later, the feds came and knocked, and they had been watching me, and I had no idea.
Yeah.
So thank God I quit, because I probably would have given me a way worse sentence if I hadn't. But I never thought I was going to get caught. Like, I really thought I was one of those people that wasn't going to get caught. I was above it. And
yeah, not me.
Shit,
not going to happen to me. Right.
Or they won't put me in prison.
Yeah. That too.
I've never been in trouble for anything before. They're not going to put me in prison. Even my attorney told me that. Wow. The judge had something else to say. So
I just remembered it was Mission Boulevard, not it's international until it gets to San Leandro. Then it's Mission Boulevard all the way Hayward. Is that what it is? And there was another bar I used to go to. There had the Big Lots and the Dollar Tree, and then a little bar off to the side. I can't remember, but I used to hang out at that bar. It was on Mission Boulevard, right past the Carl's Jr. when you get to San Leandro. I don't know. I'm just. Let me get to Adam here. Adam says, I'm banned from driving until 2025. I got that ban in like the year 2000. So 25 years you're banned for driving, Adam? Is that how strict it is in Australia?
Dang.
Wow.
That's way more strict than here.
Yeah.
I don't know anyone that gets banned for 25 years.
25 years. Wow.
That's rough.
But
you know what? 2025 is around the corner, so good news.
Yeah. Adam's got a comment for you.
Oh, thanks,
Adam says, Angie, you are a great mentor for women, 100%.
Thank you so much, Adam. I appreciate that. That's what this is all about for me. Like, I really have to find ways that I can give back. I learned so much and found this piece of me that I needed to share. And that's why I'm putting myself out there. And I want to do way more, you know? So thank you.
Yeah, Angie, why don't you, do you want to take a moment and maybe make a little message out there to women that may be scrolling across this channel? Because I titled it Women in Prison on purpose. So people that are searching YouTube, and we might get some women out there, because it's not about me. It's about you. It's about all you guys in the chat room.
So I started my channel as soon as I got out. Literally within a week of being out, I started my channel. I call it Tea Talk because for me, it's about women just sitting around like hens making noise like we do. So it's conversation, and it's real conversation, and it's about what goes on in prison, and it goes also what goes on the outside. And I think that I want people to know that are maybe pending charges or pending surrender or whatever, to know that your life won't be over, that you'll get through it, and you can come out and you can get your life back. It's going to take some time, but I want people to know that your life isn't over. And so I want to interview as many women as possible so that we can hear lots and lots of different stories from start to finish, because we can all relate to one another. I actually have a kind of something that like broke my heart. It was one of the girls that I was in prison with. She said to me shortly before I was leaving, I said something to her, and she said, really? I think I told her, I think you're great, Miranda, I think you're great. And she said, really? And she goes, Angie, she goes, that makes me want to cry. She said, because I feel like if you like me, other people will think I'm great too. I looked at her. She goes, if somebody like you will like me, then that makes me feel like I have a chance or something. And I turned around and I go, someone like me? And I go, Miranda, we're the same.
Yeah.
I go, I've made different choices than you've made. We're the same though. Don't get it twisted. I said, don't ever talk like that.
Yeah,
I'm not above.
There you go.
You're not below me. I go, that's not how I see you at all. I go, I think you're amazing. And like, it just broke my heart that the way she viewed herself was as if I was like this. And she, I was like, no way, we're the same. And that's what it is. You know, we all have a story and we've all made mistakes, and that's all it is. And we need to support each other. So that's why I started my channel, so that we can share stories and that we can be there for each other. And I have recently updated my, I think it was my bio or my description on my channel. And I included my email and my cell phone number so that people can actually call me or email me if they need someone to talk to.
Yeah, thank you for doing that. Because I have my phone number on all my videos, Andy. I've been doing this 2 years. I've only had one troll call me out of 2 years. So people are not going to waste their time to call you. You know, you're not. I'm glad you did that, Angie. You're going to get positive calls. Because trust me.
I really want to be there. I needed it.
I called you. Huh? What?
That's how I called you. You know what I mean? I called you.
Right, that's right.
I was in dire straits. I was in a bad mental space, you know, and like I called you. I was like, gosh, this guy leaves his number. Fuck it, I'm gonna call. I need some support. And you were there.
Yeah.
And it really helped me just to have someone tell me, hey, you're gonna make it. It's gonna be okay. And I obviously never forgot it, because you're one of the first people I contacted as soon as I got out. And I boom, I was on your channel, you know.
I may be the only one leaving their phone number. RDAP Dan does too, but he's got a business. But I think I'm the only one leaving my number. But I don't get God only, people don't waste their time. Trolls don't call me. You know, they just don't. Angie, and I'm glad you do that. Because a woman out there's people want help, and it's so hard to pick up that phone. That phone weighs 500 pounds. And when you have a message that call me, I'm just here to help. Somebody say, you know what? I think I will. And you're going to get those calls, Angie, and it's going to make your day. It makes my day. It gives me purpose in life. I'm just a guy who wasted my life away and went to prison. I got nothing to give back to the world. Well, I'm wrong. Because when people call me, and I get 3 or 4 calls every single day, Angie, and it just reminds me to keep doing this channel, keep doing these videos, and I have a purpose. And there's a reason, and it's just I every time I end, and they don't know what to say on the phone, and sometimes I think it's a scammer or something, and it never is. It usually starts, I've been watching your videos, man, and that's usually how they start. And I go, oh, it's somebody from YouTube, and you're gonna get those, Angie, and you're gonna feel so good inside. I'm telling you, Angie, I'm glad you put your number out there. Adam, Harvey, you guys, you might want to put your number out there too. I'm just saying. I don't get trolls, guys. So, Adam and Harvey, if you guys are watching, maybe try putting your number out there. It just makes your day, man.
So if you guys, and also if anybody, you guys know anybody that, or if anyone that's watching wants to be on my show, you want to tell your story, please hit me up.
Kathy from Australia, I think she'd be good. Her son's in prison in Australia. I think 7 or 8 years left to go. But what do you think, Angie? Would you like to have Kathy on your show?
I would love that, because we can talk about a mother's perspective and how she's feeling on the outside with her son on the inside. I think family stories are not just our stories, but our families, our loved ones. Super, super important that everybody gets support, because that's the thing, is like, I didn't realize how, I'll be honest with you, actually, I didn't care how my incarceration was going to affect my loved ones, because all I cared about was myself at the time. And now that I'm out and I can take a breath and I can see, like, it affected my husband, it affected my closest friends, it affected people around me that care for me. People were worried. And so not just us, it's not just us that needs the support, but our families do. And I'm there for them too. Thanks, Kathy. I would love to interview you if you're willing, and talk about a mother's perspective.
Yeah, Kathy, because I know Kathy's going through it. I know she's on all these channels, and her son's in prison. And Kathy, I mean, I've told you this before, Kathy. My heart goes out to you, and you come on all my shows. But I could just imagine what you're going through, Kathy, without your son, waiting for him to get out of prison. You have 7 or 8 more years to wait. But Kathy, we're here for you, man. I mean, I don't mean to say the word man, but Kathy, we're here for you. And we're all the way in America. And Kathy, you're just part of my family. And I love you, Kathy. Anything I could do to help you, I want you to know that, Kathy.
I do have one lady that's reached out to me. I don't know if she found me on FAM or not. I'm reading Adam's message. A mother actually reached out to me, and she messages me on a regular basis. I should ask if I can interview her too. Her daughter is still in Dublin. She wasn't in my unit, but she's in Dublin right now, and so she messages me about what's going on, and she asks me questions, and we talk, and she's really great. And I'm glad that she's reached out to me, and that we have a good dialogue. So
Adam doesn't think it's a good idea putting your number out. Now you're a woman. He may have a point, but that's up to you. Maybe put your email and you can scam it. But that's Adam says. That's what Adam says. He also says, I would love to come on your channel, Angie. And he says, Kathy would be awesome to have on your channel. Kathy is a great woman. And Kathy says, I appreciate it from all of you. And Adam says, Kathy is always on my channel, and anything I could do to help, please let me know. K-Fam. Okay. All right. Good stuff.
Please go find me and subscribe to my channel, and then you can message me, and you'll have my contact information. That way it's easier to get a hold of me. So please go to my channel, Tea Talk with Stubbs, and in the description you'll find my contact information. Reach out to me. Let's get this scheduled.
Hey,
let me be another connect for you.
I wanted to ask.
This isn't
go
for you.
Yeah. Yes, Angie. Kathy. Angie, I wanted to ask you why you changed the name of your channel.
Because I thought that maybe it was going to be too long. I thought that when I do my thumbnails, I can make sure that it's out there, that it's prison stories. Do you think that was a mistake?
Well, I'm thinking Tea Talk with Stubbs doesn't tell me anything about prison. I have no idea what that means.
Okay. So maybe I should add prison stories again.
If
you think that it's
it's something
prison stories Stubbs is how I have it.
So what your main goal of your channel is to help women in going to prison and coming out of prison, right?
Yeah.
So how do you say that in a title? Because Tea Talk with Stubbs, I don't know if that's the Queen of England, talking about having tea. I have no idea that there's no relation to prison there. I'm just, what do you guys think out there? Maybe
please, you guys help
give Angie some suggestions for the name of her channel, guys. What do you think?
Because it used to be Tea Talk Prison Stories with Stubbs, or should I just have Tea Talk Prison Stories?
So my channel used to be Club Fed True Stories by COWGILL. Now it's Federal Prison Talk. Maybe I could have put Club Fed. I Club Fed True Stories, and then I started thinking Club Fed. People know that's gonna, so I changed it all. You know what I mean? And I'm happy with what I chose, but I don't like I said, Tea Talk with Stubbs. I don't. What does that mean? And I'm just
okay. How many people do we have live right now? How many people do we have live right now, Sean?
7.
Let's do it. Let's hear it. What do you guys think?
And they can always leave comments later on the replay of this video and stuff.
This is your chance. We'll take. Let's do this. Let's make it a lottery.
Yeah, and I'm not trying to. I'm just saying.
No,
I want your channel. I want your channel to grow,
and I want them to know. Yeah.
Plus, when they do a YouTube search, you want something to show. So I have Federal Prison Talk. So when people type in the word prison or federal or something, it's going to come up. Maybe I don't know. I don't know. Let's let them decide. But
Tea Talk women's prison stories. But the thing of it is I don't want to deter men from joining my channel, because men have loved ones that are in. Men's stories really matter to me too. It's not just women. Right. You know what I mean? I want women to have a special place to go, but I don't want men to be excluded. So that's why I'm hesitant to put women in it, because I don't want men to feel like, I don't want to go to that channel. That's for women.
Yeah. The Tea Talk part's okay. Adam's saying something here. He says, I first called my channel Aussie Prison Stories, then Aussie Talks Prison, then Adam Talks Prison. I think Prison Talk with Stubbs is a great name. Prison Talk with Stubbs. There you go. And Adam, I liked Aussie Talks Prison. And I know, Adam, you told me people don't know what Aussie means. Well, too bad for them. I really like the name of that channel. But Adam Talks Prison works just as good. But there you go, Angie.
I like that. Prison Talk with Stubbs. And just take out the tea talk.
That's, yeah, there's one. Kathy says Prison Tea Talk with Stubbs.
That's good too.
And Nick says, I'm man. I just subscribed. Never did hard time, but loved hearing all of the YouTube stories. Nick, thank you so much for coming on. And Nick, we don't ever want you to do time. And I'm glad you never did. And I don't know if you've ever broken the law, Nick. Let's, most people have broken the law one way or another. Come on, get real. How to what degree? I don't know. You know what I mean? Even committing adultery is a crime, I think. But, anyways, Nick, thank you for watching. Appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks, Nick.
Yeah.
Also, I'm sure, thank God you've never done time, Nick, but you may have somebody close to you that is in prison or ends up going to prison or something, and you'll have a better idea of how to support them.
So my stats that I get from where I work, my boss says 1 out of 3 people have a criminal record. Now that just may be a DUI back 30 years ago, stealing a candy bar from the store, but 1 out of 3 people have a criminal record.
Wow.
In this country.
That actually doesn't surprise me.
Yeah, in the criminal record, it could be driving on a suspended license, whatever. It may not be a hard crime. It may not be a felony. Right. It might just be a misdemeanor. But 1 out of 3 people have at least committed a misdemeanor.
Yeah, that's crazy. That's a crazy stat.
Oh, and
your name was Aussie. See, when I saw your title, Adam, I knew Aussie was. I knew that you were down under.
Yeah, I knew. We watch Crocodile Dundee and all that stuff. Adam, we know what Aussie means.
Right.
Yeah, we're not that, are we? What do you really think about us Americans, Adam? No, what's really going on? No, just kidding. Are we that? That's. I know what Aussie means, but maybe these Generation Z guys, or what's the last? Maybe these younger, what do they call them? Millennials. Maybe they don't know what Aussie means. I don't know.
Who knows? All they have to do is Google it. They have all the tech, so they can figure it out.
Here's one: Prison Talk with Stubbs or Angie Talks Prison. Angie Talks Prison. Ooh,
yeah. I like it too.
Oh, there we go. You see, got some ideas going.
I love you guys. Thanks. This is great.
Yeah, keep them coming, guys. Keep them coming. Let's get Angie filled with all. Let's have Angie leave the show with 20 names and
and new subscribers, please.
Yes. Subscribe to her channel, guys. So now they got to. So Angie, here's another thing. I couldn't find your channel. Remember the first time? I put Tea Talk with Stubbs, and then now since I do the search, it shows up. But so every time you change your channel, then you got to people have to find it. And I got smart enough. I got smart enough to use the filter, and I put Tea Talk with prison stories, and then the filter said anything that happened this week with that title in it. But people don't always know to use the filter, because when I first put up Tea Talk, I got the Queen of England, I got tea in Iran, and the fried tea in China.
How about the Boston Tea Party?
Yeah, Boston Tea Party. Nothing to do with prison. I couldn't find you.
Yeah. Okay. So wait, are you telling me that when I change my channel, there's going to be a problem, or you're saying it's a good thing because it'll be easier to find?
Well, you want to remember when people are searching for your channel, like if I put it up here. So every time you change the name of your channel, Tea Talk with Stubbs. I don't know. I don't want to do it now because I'm not because I'm on a show here. But if I type in Tea Talk with Stubbs, I don't know if it's going to show right up, because it may come up again with the Queen of England and tea and all. Since she just died, that's a big thing right now. So,
wait, what?
The Queen of England just died. Did you hear that? Yeah,
today,
2 days ago, I think. Yeah, she's gone.
No.
Yeah, she's gone, and now it's going to be King Edward or something. Yeah.
I cannot believe that I didn't have this news. Where in the hell is my head? I haven't turned on the news.
Yeah, she just, I think it was 2 days ago. And she was in the middle of her Jubilee party for her 90th birthday.
Yeah, they were saying this was going to be her last Jubilee.
Yeah, Elton
oh my
John
God.
And, Paul McCartney was singing for her and everything else. She died 2 days ago. And she was able to walk around and everything and say hi to the crowd. I didn't see it coming. Yeah.
Was she at the castle and just dropped or what?
I've only caught the just the headlines. I haven't had time to read how she died, but it was old age and stuff that got her, but it was natural causes. But I don't know where she died at and all that. But yeah.
Wow, that's crazy. I didn't know.
Yeah.
Okay, now I'm scared. T-Talk, prison stories with Stubbs. Maybe I should keep it at that.
Let's see what there's some more stuff coming on here. Let's see. Where am I? Let me see. And they thought my name was Aussie. We got that. Prison Talk with Stubbs or Angie Talks Prison. Yeah, we did that one. Or Angie Prison Talk. But I love the name Prison Talk with Stubbs. Is awesome. No, not you guys. It was other people. Oh, he means not you guys not knowing what Aussie means. It was other people.
Yeah.
Well, if you got people that ignorant, maybe you don't want them watching your channel. Not just
Sean.
Tom says, I bet you never thought you could go to prison by Angie. There's a title. I bet you never thought you could go to prison by Angie. There's something.
No kidding. No kidding, though. It's long for.
Should I go back to Aussie Talks Prison or Aussie Prison Talk? Maybe one of them two, Adam. What do you think, Angie? Should he go back to Aussie Prison Talk or Aussie Talks Prison? Or leave it? When you say Adam Talks Prison, that's fine. But I tend to think you're in America. But since you're Australian, be proud of that, man. So maybe put out
Aussie Prison Talk.
Aussie Prison Talk.
I love that.
Talk. There you go, Adam. Be proud of the country you're from. Even though your own country put you in prison, but you know that you did that, not your country, right, guys? Anyways, be proud that you're Australian. That's my answer. Nick says, Adam, call it Aussie
Adam Prison Talk. Oh, that's good too. That's good. I like that.
Yeah.
Aussie Adam. Yeah.
Aussie Adam. And Angie Prison Talk with Angie suits your channel.
Prison Talk with Angie suits your channel, and so does Prison Talk with Stubbs. Yeah.
But see how they got that word prison in there? Somehow they put that word prison or prison talk.
Maybe Prison Talk with Stubbs. But then I don't know. Stubbs, they don't know female. Angie, they definitely know it's a female. Oops, I'm sorry. There goes my dog.
Ow, ow. She isn't dead. It was just a hoax. What? You mean the Queen of England is alive? It was a hoax? Oh, I haven't watched the news since 2 days ago. So now you're telling me, Nick, that was a hoax that the Queen of England died? I guess I better watch the news. So obviously he knows that he knows what I'm talking about, but how do you make a hoax that the Queen of England's dead? Because I caught this on a regular news channel. Well, okay. Adam says Aussie Adam Prison Talk. That's interesting. At Nick Franco. Tom says the Queen is not deceased. Okay, guys. So I'm
not living under a rock. Thank you, guys.
But at least you guys know that I saw the story. So I haven't watched the news in 2 days, but 2 days ago they said she was dead. Now I feel like an idiot. No, I don't.
Come on. Hey, I want to ask you a question, Sean.
Yeah.
And everybody else that's on that's been in prison, that's listening, or that watches later, leave a comment. This is what my question is. What are you enjoying to eat now that you're out? I'm going to tell you something that I never thought about when I was in prison, but I got out and I had it the other day and I go, oh my God, I've missed this so much. 7-Eleven Slurpees and those taquitos.
The one big thing I missed was real butter, not
Yeah.
margarine, real butter. But check it out. Here's what I got right now. I went out, I bought at the dollar store. I got peach nectar for $1. It's like a big thing of peach nectar, some orange juice, and a watermelon and ice. And I bought a blender at Walmart for $18 because it's 102 degrees out. So I make these watermelon coolers. It's watermelon and peach nectar and orange juice and ice. And this is like the best. It's like, I did the math. It's like 38 cents a glass. It's like, oh man, that's what I'm into now.
That's awesome. Well, I've been stopping by 7-Eleven. I can't do it every day, but just because I don't want to gain weight or anything. But like, I've been stopping by 7-Eleven and getting my taquitos every, couple times, once or twice a week.
Oh, taquitos! Yeah. I buy them at the store and I heat them in the oven and I put shredded cheddar cheese on them and let it melt.
It's not the same though.
Sour cream.
7-Eleven ones.
Yeah, all that sour
cream. You never had the 7-Eleven one either,
huh?
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah,
have you never had at 7-Eleven, Sean?
Yeah, no, I've had.
You've never had.
I've had them.
Oh, okay.
They got different kinds. They got beef and chicken and other kinds of hot ones, spicy ones. Yeah. I've done. Oh, trust me, I had my 7-Eleven days. Yeah, I used to play Donkey Kong at my local 7-Eleven back in the 80s. I had the high score up there for like a year until some new kid came in town and took away my high score. Remember when they had Donkey Kong and Pac-Man and 7-Elevens? I go way back. I'm old, man.
I'm old too. I don't think so though. Like, I know I'm old, but in my head I'm still 35. Maybe even 30. I don't know.
There you go. Adam says, okay, I'm going back to Aussie Talks Prison. Yeah.
Good choice.
Oh, now he says, my bad, I'm going back to Aussie Prison Talk. Well,
either way.
Either one, Adam. Either one. Kathy said, I am jealous. It's freezing cold in Australia with lots of snow. Well, yeah, it's winter in Australia.
It is?
Yeah, because
I'm going to be honest with you guys. I didn't even know it snowed in Australia.
Yeah.
I didn't realize that it gets snow.
They're on the southern hemisphere, so they have opposite, or their seasons are opposite. Yeah. A lot of people in the wintertime from America go to Australia or New Zealand or one of those, they go down there for our winters so they can have summer in Australia. Yeah, people that have money to do that. Adam says, one thing I missed was pizza and a hamburger. Oh, yeah.
I missed pizza, too. We had hamburgers in prison, but it's not like a real good hamburger. So
we had that Wednesday hamburger day.
Yeah.
Sometimes they were all right. It just depends. My prison would give us the French fries right out of the deep fryer, and they were constantly.
Oh, that's lucky.
Yeah, a lot of prisons, they sit there with a heat lamp. No, ours, they had the grill going, and they would lift the hamburger right off the grill and put it right on your tray. And the fries came right out of the fryer. That was most Wednesdays they did that.
You know what? I think that was
my favorite day.
I think it was some good camp stuff that you were getting too, because at the FCI they didn't do it like that. And I worked in the kitchen. They didn't take anything. We would get cold fries and burgers and stuff. I mean, it never was warm or hot. I can tell you that.
Yeah, for the first 2 years we had a great cook, and then the guy got released, and then whoever moved up to his place, that guy couldn't cook at all. He didn't know how to use spices. Then the food got real bad.
Yeah.
But for 2 years, man, we had some good food at our camp. I don't know.
That's good. Yeah. So what we had, what was it? It was the chicken sandwiches on Tuesdays, the hamburgers on Wednesdays,
chicken on Friday.
And Thursday was chicken on the bone.
Chicken on Thursday.
Chicken on the bone, chicken on the bone. There was a whole chicken on the bone.
Chicken on the bone. Yeah. Yeah. Did you get the quarter piece of chicken? Like a leg and a thigh, or did you get the breast and the wing? Or what? What'd you guys get?
Well, sometimes it was the size of a tiny little drumstick. But sometimes they did us 30. And then sometimes it was the leg quarters.
Wow, we got the quarter, but if you got there early enough, you could get the breast and the wing quarter, and if you got the leg, it was all the leg and the thigh. But yeah, wow. And then Fridays was the fish patty, right?
I didn't like Fridays.
You didn't like Fridays?
I didn't like Fridays. That was the day that no.
Did you have roast beef
I
night?
prefer. I would rather make a tuna bowl in my room.
How about roast beef night? How was your roast beef night?
I get to take it or leave it. I mean,
Lasagna? How about lasagna night? We had that twice a month.
Everybody likes lasagna night.
Yeah, our lasagna was good, man. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's all right. All right. You hear that, guys?
Yeah.
We're talking about federal food in federal prison. They all have the same menu, but it depends who cooks it. And they order it from different warehouses and different. Every region orders different. Some places get a deal and they get this nasty ass hamburger and they're going to get it for $20 a case. The other guy and they get a bonus, but maybe at one prison they want to keep the owners happy, so they'll spend $50 on a case of better meat. So it's all the same menu, but it's not the same on the tray.
That's for sure. And in California, like sometimes we'd get like some fresh strawberries, and that was always awesome.
We had watermelon all summer long, almost every day, or cantaloupe or honeydew melon. Did you guys get that?
A handful of times, but that's nice.
4th of July is coming up, and I remember. So for lunch, they would barbecue. We'd get a hamburger, a hot dog, and a quarter chicken, and a little thing of ice cream, and an apple pie, potato salad or coleslaw, and something else. But yeah, that was our 4th of July. That was a really good meal. Did you guys get that on 4th of July?
Well, I wasn't in on the 4th of July, but I went in right after the 4th of July, literally 2 days later. But holidays, we get special stuff.
Yeah.
And some were better than others. I want to say Labor Day was a really good barbecue. They barbecued for us. And that was good. Yeah. Fridays, we usually got some kind of ice cream. They're always the Weight Watchers ones.
Oh, we were getting Blue Bunny. Blue Bunny ice cream.
Well, I think you guys got even, especially in the camp, I think you guys even got better commissary. Like, didn't you guys get like real red vines for licorice? We didn't. We got the off brands.
Yeah, we had that. We had Pepsi. Every 6 months it would be Pepsi or Coke, and they would switch it. But yeah, no, we had pretty good stuff on our commissary. Yeah, we did.
Yeah, camps get better stuff.
Let me catch up on the comments here, Angie. Let's see. Where am I? Stay warm, Kathy. Kathy, do you like Aussie Prison Talk as the name of my channel? Nick Franco says, don't tell me you guys didn't miss In-N-Out Burger. Oh, yeah, we missed that, right?
Yeah, we did.
I couldn't.
We did, Nick. You're right.
Those commercials. Arby's. I was always watching Arby's commercials. So when I got out of prison, first thing I did was find Arby's.
That's funny you said that. I just had Arby's there, and I couldn't wait down. I was like, I haven't had Arby's in a while. I love Arby's with the Arby's sauce.
Yeah. Kathy says, yes, Aussie Prison Talk is good. Adam says, my name is Adam Peter Thompson, so Aussie Prison Talk makes sense. We got somebody I don't recognize, Henry 4134. The cheeseburger patties. What's that?
I'm reading that comment. Read it.
The cheap burger patties have beef parts in them. Well, they might have that in tongues and necks, and I don't know.
Balls.
Kathy says that's clever, Adam. And Adam says we used to get this meat that smelled so bad. Was that kangaroo meat? We got that in Jack in the Box back in the 70s. Guys, I'm giving away my age now. Adam Talks Prison says, thanks, Kathy. And Aussie Prison Talk. Done. New name.
I got it.
He already did it. He changed it. He did it that fast. Adam, you're good.
I'm fine too, Adam.
He changed his name like in 3 minutes. Wow. I would have had to go watch a YouTube video and learn how to do it all over again. I know it's quick to do, but I forget. He changed it. All right. Aussie Prison Talk it is. See, Adam, your whole day has changed today by I already talked to Adam. Me and Adam talked earlier on. I went to Gmail and they have a thing called Meet, and I clicked it, and it has a video thing. And because he lives in Australia, I never used it before. But next thing you know, me and Adam are doing a video call. So, we had a nice talk today, didn't we, Adam? For about a half an hour. Right? And that's when he told me it's Sunday where he's at, and it's Saturday. I can't grasp it. He's like, he's in the future, and I'm in the past.
I'm changing mine right now too, Adam. You're a trendsetter. Wow, okay, guys. Okay. One question.
All right, look at you guys.
Prison talk. I'm going to do prison talk with Angie or prison talk with Stubbs. Which one is it, guys?
Prison talk with Angie. Because Stubbs.
Angie.
Stubbs, I mean, I know that's your last name, but I don't know what that means. Stubbs. Angie, I recognize. I recognize Angie.
Right. Okay, I'm doing it. It's done. Oh. Prison talk with Angie.
Oh, wow. Let's catch up on these. Good work, Adam, she says. Done the names. All right. Prison talk with Angie. So here, I'll change it on this banner here. I think I can do this while we're here. Yeah. It's called Prison Talk with Angie now.
Yep.
All right, I'm changing it. All right, there. Is that it? Did I get it right?
Yes.
All right. There we go. Ha
ha!
2 people have changed their YouTube channel today. Live on you guys did it live on the show. That's great, man.
That's so cool. So you guys make sure you find me.
Yeah, now they got to find you again. Aussie Prison Talk said, yes, we did, and I enjoyed how chat. And Angie's Prison Tea Time. Well,
Angie's Prison Tea Time. Oh.
Angie Prison Talk, he says. He's got Angie Prison Talk with no spaces. Does yours have spaces or not?
Mine is exactly as you have it on the banner with spaces.
Okay. Because if you have the word prison next to your name with no spaces, because when they do a search, a lot of people type in the word prison, and prison talk, and that's going to give you the algorithms. You know what I mean?
Wait, so is it better without spaces?
No, you want the spaces. You want the spaces because they're going to type in the word prison. If you have prison Angie Talks all in one, that becomes one long word, and it's not going to show up.
Oh, and then it's hard to find. Gotcha.
Hard to find, and won't show up on search engine. So, Adam, too, you might want to put spaces. What did he come up with, Adam? I can't remember. Let's see what he put.
Aussie Prison Talk, wasn't it?
Yeah, you might want to put spaces between Aussie space prison space talk. So, do you hear me, Adam? What do you think, Angie?
I think, did he hang up? Oh,
he's still here somewhere. Okay, I love
it. Thanks, Adam.
And he says, thanks, Kathy.
Okay, Aussie Prison Talk. So he needs to put a space between Aussie and between prison and talk.
Yeah, Adam, you should put space.
Easier for people to find
that way
him.
If people type in the word prison, or they type in the word talk, or they type in the word Aussie. Because right now, because you want them to be able to search. Yeah, so put spaces between Aussie space prison space talk. And then you're good to go. And hopefully you guys get more subscribers now after today. All right. So what else is going on, Angie?
You know, I got a job. I was 3 days out. I got a job. It's not a job I like, that's for sure. But I'm going every day, and I'm trying really hard to just have a good attitude.
Are you saving any money? Are you saving any money to get out of so when you get on probation and all that?
I'm not making a whole lot, so I haven't been able to save a whole lot yet. But I've been getting caught up on some stuff, and actually, it's not true. I do have a little savings, and I'm actually, one thing that I'm doing is I found on Amazon there's these things, savings things that you can do, like things that make saving fun. and I think I'm going to buy one of those, like little games you almost play with yourself. They're challenges,
Okay.
and because I want to add more to my savings. Yeah.
So you know what? I kind of want to tell you guys. Let me put this up here. Let me see here.
Cool. He did it. He put the
I
spaces
saw
in
that.
there.
He did it. He did that.
Yeah. And I like the way it looks too.
So listen, I'm kind of going to do a commercial here. Bear with me. So how'd you guys like to make $100? I have this thing. I got out of prison and I needed to open a bank account, right? And here I got felony records and all this. I got wire fraud. I went to Wells Fargo and they laughed. A wire fraud alert came up. They wouldn't give me a bank account. So there's a thing called Chime, right? It's this
I've heard
Chime
of it.
card.
I have a bank account.
So check it out. If you sign up for Chime, it's a real bank account. It's online. If I get a check and I want to cash it, I take a picture with my cell phone. It cashes it. By the end of the day, the money's in my account. I get paid. I get direct deposit. All that stuff. If you want to make $100, click the link there, and as soon as you put $200 on your card, you'll get $100 instantly added on. Then you can close the account down after, take the $100, go away. I recommend you keep it because after 6 months you get this green card. Let me see here.
You can't see it. It's coming up like
it's a green Chime card. It's a green card, and it's called a credit builder card. So my credit was 514 points when I got out of prison 2.5 years ago. I just got my update a few days ago. Experian. I have a credit score of 762 now.
Shut up.
I have, check it out. I got a car that was repossessed. I got evicted from my apartment in Antioch, California. My credit was 514 out of prison. So in a little over 2 years, 762 because of this credit builder card. So when you sign up for the Chime card, if you use it for about 6 months, you get the green card too. I know you can't, it's not showing up. But anyways, click link there. So as soon as $200 is put on your card from your job or your unemployment benefits or whatever, you get a free $100. Then you can shut it down, take the $100, go away. Or keep the card and keep using it. And they don't care about your criminal history. I am doing a commercial, but this is the true story, guys. So now my credit's over 700. Now I can go. I could buy a house now. I guess.
Yeah, you can. Okay, this is what I want to know. How does it help your credit? Because just by using it,
because it's like a prepaid. It's like one of those, when you get those prepaid credit cards, like you go to Bank of America and you give them $500, and they give you a credit card that's only good for the money in the bank.
Yeah,
that's how this credit builder card works. So when I'll transfer money from the white card I'll put $50 on my green card, and I'll go, to Walgreens and I'll buy something. Or I pay a bill, whatever. And every time I do that, it builds my credit. And I've had this card now. So I got this card almost 2 years ago, but my credit started going up from 500. It was from 514 to like 612 within the first year. And then the last year, it's went up another 100 and something points. It really builds your credit. Anyways, the link's right there. If anything, get the free $100, guys. Just tell your boss, hey, I got a new bank account. I want my next check to go on my Chime card. Then take the $100, go, and then tell your boss next week, I'll go back to my old bank, right? But get the free $100.
Yeah,
man, $100, guys.
Yeah,
so, and this is a commercial, but it's a free $100. So, anyways, thanks.
Heck yeah. I'm really happy for you about the credit score.
Oh, I can't believe it went up so much. And like I said, my car got repossessed because I was making car payments while I was on pretrial. And I'm going to prison. I didn't care about nothing. So I just left the car. I was going to drive the car to prison, but then I thought, no, I'm going to be drinking while I drive myself to prison. So last thing I need is a DUI. So I just left the car. I actually left the car in San Leandro. I just left it there. When I got, like the night before I went to prison, I called up the car company. Well, I'm going to prison tomorrow, and I left my car in San Leandro. I don't know where. And I hung up. That's how I felt.
You're crazy. That's so fun.
I was there. I didn't give a fuck. My life was over. I thought my life was over. I was going for life. My life's over. I didn't know it was just beginning. I didn't know I'm going to be here a couple of years later on the show with you. I didn't know. Yeah.
Isn't it? That's the message, Sean. That's the message. People need to know you're going to be okay. Yeah. You're going to get through it, man, and you're gonna laugh again. You're going to find joy again.
Yeah. And I got evicted from I was renting a house in Antioch, and when 30 black SUVs show up on your block, because the Treasury Department was, they had all the warrants to search my house. They had to let the whole block know people are coming up from work. They got nowhere to park because 30 black SUVs are on the block. Everybody knew what house that happened to, right? So the landlords found out. Of course, like the next day, there's an eviction notice. You got to get out of here, right? And I mean, everything that could go wrong went wrong, and on
the news.
Oh yeah, all that.
Yeah.
So, that's why my life. And I was on pretrial for a bunch of years, and everything ended. It took. That was in 2012. It's 2022 now. I got 6 months left on federal probation. So my little 52-month sentence. It's been 10 years of living hell.
Yeah.
10 years of hell, and it still ain't over. And even when I get off probation, I mean, I got a rap sheet, so I'm not free and clear. I don't have to pee in the cup anymore, thank God. But but still, I'll have a rap sheet. So cop pulls you over.
Have you thought about doing expungement later?
Huh? What's that?
What's the story with? We need to find out about expungement. Can we do that someday?
Well, maybe once you get your restitution paid. I got a $1.7 million restitution. I don't think I.
Oh yeah. I owe 200.
Even Trump won't forgive me.
Yeah.
You have to go through the president to get expunged for a federal crime. If it's a state crime, you go through your governor. Governors do it once a year, and it's good when you do it at the end of an election year when they're running for office. They like to give a whole bunch of expungements, but for federal crimes, you have to write a letter to the president.
I thought it was the courts that we had to write. The federal judge.
I understand. Well, maybe I that's just what I've heard. I could be wrong. I've been wrong on all kinds of things, guys. But that's what I heard. Governor for state and the president for federal. Oh no, I'm sorry. That's not for expungement. That's for pardons. For pardons.
That's for pardons. Yeah, I was just gonna say
for pardons. Oh, excuse me, guys. Pardon. Expungements. I'm gonna tell you. I was a restaurant manager for a bunch of years. And one of the companies I worked for, we did background checks, and I would see people's criminal background check, and it would say robbed a bank, killed 3 women, all this stuff, expunged next to it. So even though it's expunged, the crime still shows up on a criminal background check. It just has the word expunged in parentheses. So when I'm looking at it going, expunged my ass, I still see the crime you committed. So expunge.
Really?
Yeah, expunge doesn't really mean that much. That's why you got to get it pardoned and then permanently sealed after you get the pardon.
Yeah, well, we're not getting pardons. I did the crime, so they're not going to pardon me.
So expunge really doesn't mean shit. Now, if they just do a local background check and you got it expunged, it probably won't show up. But if they do, we were doing life scans. It depends how much they pay the company that does the background check. But on my company,
right? Because I heard it's really hard to define federal crimes. That state is easy, but federal is not. Like I know somebody that's done both.
Mine doesn't show up. When I got this apartment last year, they did a background check. It said no criminal history. Now,
see, federal. That's why.
Yeah, and then
they have to get fingerprints for that, like you said.
I just had a background check because I'm also doing those Obama phones on the side out of my office, and they did a background check, and it said no criminal history. Because I'm fed, but they're probably they're not spending the money to do it nationwide. They're just doing for the state. And when they do state, federal doesn't show up. So
yeah.
Now, if I was buying, I don't know if I was going to try to get a job as a police officer, they're going to do the full check and it's going to show.
Yes.
And I know. What do you think about felons being police officers?
Shit, I think they'd be a lot better than these jackwads that are out right now.
We sure know how to catch them, but then are you labeled a snitch? How does that work? I don't know.
Harvey's back.
Barbie. I haven't checked the room. Barbie. Oh, Harvey. Just got back. Back from where, Harvey? Tell us all about it. What's going on? What you been doing?
Yeah, what were you doing?
Harvey?
Shaking your butt?
Yeah.
Like on the video?
Yeah, a little Missouri lemonade going on there. What's up? No, just kidding.
Did you see that video of him shaking his butt?
Yeah. Aussie was just asking, are you still here, Harvey? And please hit that like button, y'all. Aussie, where'd you learn Adam, where'd you learn to say the word y'all? I can't see somebody in Australia saying the word y'all.
I'd love to hear that with your accent.
Yeah. Please hit that button, y'all. I don't know.
Yeah, I got to hear it, Adam. I got to hear it.
Yeah, we got to hear it, Adam. Harvey says lots of laugh. Yeah, we're just talking shit now, Harvey. I don't know. Angie, I don't know, man.
Every time I talk to you, that's what we do, though. We laugh about something.
Yeah, I'm just letting loose. It's Saturday. What can I tell you, man?
Hey, I wanted to be on RDAP Dan's show.
Oh, okay. Yeah. He's been on my channel. Just give his numbers on all his videos. I bet you he let you on there. Did you ever talk to him before you went to prison?
Yeah, I thought about hiring him. My mother-in-law was thinking about paying for it, but then it was like, the thing of it was I figured out that like I was going quick and it was going to be a lot of money and for me at that time because I was already sentenced. I didn't reach out to him before I was sentenced. I think that was the problem.
What do you think he would have done for you? And how much money were they asking?
Well, I think I was getting a deal because I had already gone through the biggest part of the issue.
What's the deal? What's the deal?
It was
$1,000.
It was like $6,000.
$6,000.
Wait, what do you want to know?
And what do you get for that?
Oh, well, I can't really remember exactly everything, but it would have been like they were going to help me with letters. They were going to help me with, I was going to have all sorts of access to all kinds of resources. I think that because I was so far along in the process, that's why I chose not to do it. But if I would have known about him, honestly, at the beginning, it probably would have been really helpful. You know what I mean? And like, but if money was no issue, and at that time, money was no issue, so I could have done it. But I didn't reach out to him early enough.
I've written a bunch of character reference letters for people or personal narrative letters, but I write down your history and stuff. I've been doing that for guys just out of the kindness of my heart. A couple guys donated me $50 or something, but if any of you people out there need a character reference letter for the judge, get a hold of me. All my info's underneath the thing. I won't charge you $6,000, I promise. But RDAP Dan did help put some money on my books while I was in prison. He answered, all my 50 questions about prison life and, just the little things like, what's it like using the bathroom in there? Does the door close? Will anybody see me? All the stuff your lawyer doesn't know about. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and I can help people with character reference letters as well. Like I can totally help people.
There you guys go.
I had a whole bunch that were sent in, and they were all really solid. And I wrote my own narrative, and my attorney, when I read it to her before I read it to the judge, was like, "Wow, that was really good." So I can write.
There you go, guys.
And I can.
If you made it this far in the video, you're probably going to prison. That's why you're watching this long, looking for those answers. So if you need some help, me and Angie will help you. And I also do we'll get on Zoom or something, and I role play with you. So I'll be the judge, and you're the guy getting sentenced, and then we'll role play, and I'll be the guy getting sentenced, and we'll practice on that last little 5-10 minute speech that you get to say to the judge right before he puts the hammer down and says he's giving you 10 or 20 years. This is your last chance to talk to the judge and tell him who you are. Well, we do role playing, and I do this with guys so we can practice for that day, because that's that day that's going to change your life. That last day you get sentenced. Yeah. Everybody, all the witnesses, everybody's come forward. The letters have been read. The prosecutor said what he said. Your lawyer said what he said. The judge
the judge has already read what you've done.
Yeah, he read your report. He knows all about you. but he's going to give you 5 or 10 or 20 minutes here's your last chance to convince him you're a good guy or a bad guy, or before he makes that sentence. And it could be the difference. A lot of people choose to stay quiet because they're angry, and I get that. Something might come out.
I think it's a mistake, though. I think that you need to like show remorse, and I think you need to take responsibility, because that's really what the judge is looking for. Like, how changeable is this person?
Sure.
How amendable are they to, taking responsibility?
I like to tell people, I look at it like this. So you've been indicted for a year, 2 years, or whatever. Your cousins know, your wife knows, your husband knows, your kids know, your boss knows, your employer knows, your friends know, all you're getting. But grandma hasn't found out yet. She's heard, but she's like the head of the family. And now you need to go to grandma, and you got to tell her what you did. You're sorry for it, how you're going to change, and what you're going to do after you go to prison. And grandma's going to be the one to decide whether you be part of the family or not. And that's that judge. I tell people, you look at it like that. Now, maybe you don't have a grandmother, but just consider this is a hypothetical. So you're going to go to her, and here's where you get real. Grandma, yeah, I did rob the bank. I took the money. I'm guilty. I did all this. I'm sorry. I've been, I'm off the drugs and alcohol. I'm feeding homeless people now. I'm doing all these things. I'm raising my children right again. I've made up with my wife. I've done this. I'm ready to do my time, Grandma. I don't know how much time I'm going to get, but I've already changed, and I know I'm going to keep changing once I get to prison. And all I want to do is get through this, and then give back to the world when I get out. And you got to convince Grandma of this. And that's what you want to tell the judge. That's my advice that I tell people. What do you think about that advice, Angie?
I think that's excellent advice. It's real. Yeah, that's my biggest thing, is to be real. Like, don't be so over the top when you're talking to the judge that they know you're full of shit. Be hella real, like what you're saying. Like, be who you are and be real, and say, this is what I did. And, don't take it to a level that it's obvious, if you're not being real, that it's obvious that you're not being real. But yeah, I like your advice. I think it's excellent.
And that's what anybody needs help, and we'll do video, we'll role play, and we'll practice. But I'm going to tell you, there's 3 speeches that you're going to give that day. The one you practice for, okay? The one you should have done, or the one that comes out.
Yeah.
And if the one that comes from your heart is the one that you want to be out. But you should kind of practice a little. It's not going to be word for word when you get there. And don't read a letter. Don't have a script. I wrote a script, and here's what I kind of got dramatic. I had a script, and I looked at the judge, and I said, I ripped the script up, and I got dramatic. I said, I don't need this. And I threw it on the ground. I said, I just want to tell you what's going on from my soul. And I talked to the judge, and I said just what I said. And I didn't read the script. And I don't know if that made a difference or not, but the judge told me, you're complicated. And that's what I remember she said, you're complicated. And they were going to give me 60 months, and she gave me 52 months. So maybe I got extra 8 months. But I was looking at all the way up to 72 months. But the judge said, I was going to give you 60 months. I'm changing it to 52. I remember she said that. It's not 8 months, not a big deal. But whatever I did, 8 months. 8 months is 8 months.
8 months inside is a big deal. Like, on the outside, life moves very, very fast. On the inside, 8 months is a long time.
Yeah. Do you remember what did you say to your judge on sentencing day, or did you? Do you remember?
I did. What I did was I said that for me, because my crime was considered a victimless crime, so I said that that my crime is considered a victimless crime, but that what I've realized is that there are victims, because even though I didn't take money from anybody, I took it from the state in the form of disability payments, in different people's names and whatnot. So that's a whole nother story. But so what I said was that the people whose names were used, we never did anything with their information, FYI. But they didn't know that. Like, how did they know Do you know what I mean? That we didn't try to get credit cards in their name, and they were scared, and they didn't know, you know what I mean? That all we did was get the disability payments and leave it alone. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But like, they didn't know that. They didn't know how it was done or anything. So there were victims. Like, even though they didn't lose anything, it's their peace of mind. And so I think I spoke on that. I spoke on the fact that there were victims in this way. And I just took responsibility for it. And
yeah. And there's always a victim. Even if I stole from the government, I thought, well, it's the government, but it's not my money. Okay. It's not, that's Caesar's. The Bible says that's Caesar's money. So I have no right to steal from Caesar or the government. So I had to it took a while for me to steal from the government. That's a good thing. I'm Robin Hood. No. I'm a piece of shit.
Right. It's all bad. And I mean, ultimately you end up in prison with a bad reputation. So it's not worth it. Like, I look back and I go, my co-defendant and I say all the time, like, it wasn't even worth it. Like, the money that we got, first of all, we have to pay like double back. You don't have to pay back what you got or whatever. You got screwed because you got to pay back all kinds of the money that other people got that you didn't even get.
I have like 8 co-defendants, but if one of us wins the lottery, but so I pay 10% of my salary every month, and that just covers. I have to pay 30% penalties and interest compounded monthly. I'll never even get the interest paid ever. I haven't even made a dent in the interest. So, you know. Yeah,
because you owe so much. I owe $200,000. I've actually paid $12,000 already. But I'll get mine paid because mine's not like $1 million. But it's still a huge burden, you know. And
Nick says, right? Don't steal. The government hates competition. Yeah, you know, Nick, I can't even get a credit card. Probation won't allow me because I owe the government so much money. And to break that down to like street talk. So let's say I buy an ounce of cocaine from G Money, and I owe him $800 for the ounce of cocaine. But I go to G Force, and I get another ounce of cocaine from G Force because I owe G Money $800. Screw him. I'm going to go get an ounce of him, and I'll turn it all around, and everybody go get paid. Well, guess what? G Money's pretty upset with me. He's coming after me. He don't care, you know, because I went and got it from somebody else. And so when I go get a credit card or a line of credit or buy a car or something, when I owe the government $1 million something, they're pretty pissed off. So they won't let me have a credit card. And that's how that works.
But Adam has to go. Bye, Adam.
Bye, Adam.
I'll talk to you real soon, and Kathy too.
Yeah, it's been about an hour, Angie. I kind of want to wrap.
Yeah, it's been an hour and a half. We should hang it out.
An hour and a half. So, Angie, I'll just give you the floor. Last minute words to the world and all that stuff. It's all you.
Well, I think you guys got a glimpse a little bit about who I am and what my mission is. And my mission, honestly, is to help other people. I mean, I hope I provide a little entertainment too. I mean, we can be pretty funny, you know, but it's all real. And honestly, I want to help people. So reach out to me and subscribe and have other people subscribe. Please refer me to other people. And just know that I'm here. I'm doing this for the right reasons. And I'm here for you guys more than myself.
And that's Prison Talk with Angie.
Yeah.
And don't forget Prison Talk. Harvey says good night. Good night, Harvey. Harvey's had a long YouTube day himself. He did a live show at 4, and thank you, Harvey, for checking in. So,
hey, you guys, check out on Thursday too, because Thursday is when I'm going to be talking to Deborah.
And JC
Thursday at 3 o'clock Pacific time.
And JC trying to stay out of jail. Thanks. All right, Angie, I love you. God bless you. I will do it again. Have me on your show whenever you want, and.
Yes, let's get that scheduled too, for sure.
Kathy,
I enjoy talking to you.
from Australia. Remember, Kathy, Angie wants you on her show. Think about it, Kathy. Yes. I don't know how do we get a hold of you, Kathy? How does Angie find you?
Yeah, let me know. And if you go to my thing, again, you can find me in the description. You can find my email, my phone number. You know, I know it's probably too expensive to call, so email me. And I'll get right back to you.
Okay. All right, guys. God bless everybody. We'll see you in the next video. Thanks again, Angie. Have a great weekend.
You too, Sean. Take care. Right. Bye, everyone.
Bye.